guys, what's going on? Welcome to Jay Speak. This week we cover questions. First question. So this one's about attenuators because there's a bunch in the market, and the question was, what attenuators have I used? Which one did I like the best? So I have used, Gibson put out one called a Stealth attenuator years ago. I've used THD, Dr. Z, Two Notes, various units, Reload, the Captor. I thought there was another one in there. Then, of course, there's like the built-in attenuators, like the Sur stuff, Orange. They all have power scaling and reduction, and Mesas have different wattage outputs too. So I think overall, the best attenuator is usually obviously the most transparent one. I have not used Ox, the Wazacraft, or the Freyet, I think is what it's called. My only experience with the cab clone is the Mesa Mark 525, the cab clone that's been out for years, and I haven't tried the cab clone plus. Honestly, I don't really have much need for them anymore. I kind of run everything full tilt if I can. I will say that overall, if you buy an amp that has a built-in attenuator or has like a DI out, it does simplify things a little bit because it's one less thing in your chain. I do think the Orange Rock Reverb Mark III is fantastic. It does have an attenuator built in. It also has power scaling, so you can run it 100 watts or 30 watts, and you can attenuate from there. I don't think you really lose a lot from that. The Friedman Runt, the Double J, the Mesa Mark 525, I think all the DIs are good on those. But as far as like a standalone attenuator, I do think that the two-note stuff is pretty good. I didn't really notice a lot of signal loss in it. Sitting in the room, it definitely lowers the sound and feel of your amp. And at that point, it's an outside effect where you're losing a lot of highs and that feeling of the cab and the sound hitting you, that I think it's perceived as it's not as good and you're losing something, but I don't think that's actually the case with those units. I think any of the two notes attenuation is good, and plus those units come with other things that are useful as well aside from attenuating, but I don't think you could go wrong. I think just even the basic Captor unit at a negative 20 dB is great. It stinks that it's fixed at negative 20 because you'd like to dial it in because maybe you only need 10, maybe you need 30. So, that's something to think about. I haven't tried the Ox. I know a couple of people that have, and at the end of the day, they ended up selling it. So to me, that was kind of a fad thing. And I could be wrong. Take that one with a grain of salt because I haven't actually tried it myself. But usually when something comes and you're excited about it, and then it wears off and it gets sold, then it really wasn't a good unit. So I've had two-note stuff for years. The THD was good, but they're basic units. The THD is it's an attenuator, and that's all it does. But I think it does it well. So I hope that answered your question. The Dr. Z brake light was really good too, but it was enormous. I don't think you'd want that thing sitting around. I'd love to try the Boss Wazacraft attenuator. I haven't done so yet. And the Mesa Cab Clone Plus looks pretty cool too. And now that I've got experience with the Mark 525, I'd give the Cab Clone Plus a go. I really just don't have a need for it right now, but if I had the option, I think I'd try one of those, most likely. Question 2, do you have any advice on finishing tracks? Yeah, just do it. No, I know for me, I have to be inspired to do what I'm doing, and if I don't have a riff, or I'm not feeling the drums I'm putting together, or whatever the case is, then I don't really want to finish the track. It's not exciting for me. You have to want to do it. And sometimes you just got to push through and just get it done. It helps if you're on deadlines or you're on releases or you're doing something for somebody else. That definitely helps. But if you're doing it yourself, the only motivator is your inspiration to get it done. It could be that you've listened to it 100 times, walk away from it for a couple weeks and then come back to it. Try a different pedal, try a different guitar, add a different guitar tone, do something different to the track that maybe you wouldn't normally do. And that kind of pushes the process along sometimes. I know for me, just sitting there with a pedal and messing around with some tones usually sparks something, and then I open up my DAW and I start recording. So find some inspiration in what you're doing and create a deadline. And whether that's you announce on social media that you're coming out with a new track and it's going to be out on March 1st to get yourself moving over the next few weeks, then do it. Anything that helps to get you to your goal is a good thing. If it's a forced completion date, or you sit in the room where all your recording stuff is, or whatever the case is, to get inspired, then do it. If it's go take a run, then go do it. Sometimes using that kind of stairway logic where you just walk away from it, you don't listen to it for a few days, really helps. You gain more perspective. I know there's some times where I've recorded something and I'm like all hyped about it, and I check it the next day and it was like, what was I thinking? So you know, sometimes getting away and getting a new fresh pair of ears on it is definitely helpful. Question 3, did I pick up a new Fender yet? No. No, I haven't. I'm really interested in the American Professional. I'm sure that's what this is relating to. They're not in stock everywhere, and I'm really still debating between the standard Telecaster with single coils, the Deluxe, and then also the Jazzmaster, and I can't pick which one I want to get because I'm not going to get all 3 of them, at least not yet. And you know what? I really like my Freemans, man. Like, those necks are so great. And the American Standard Telecaster I have from 2010, now granted it's 11 years old, but it's a great guitar, but the neck is so much different than the Freemans, and the Freemans just feel so nice. So no, I have not picked up a new Fender. If you did, I'd love to know what you got and what swayed you to get that one specifically. I don't think I'm going to get a Strat. I'm really not a big Strat guy, even though there's one hanging in the back. I'd rather have a Tele or try a Jazzmaster, to be honest with you. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, or you can hit up my email. As always, thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Many more videos to come. Don't miss one sub.